All right. Um, so now that we've kind of read the paper, we should just quickly think about what the whole, rundown of the paper was. So he said he was different because he loved writing in words, and the kids his age weren't like that. His dad didn't understand this love of writing because he thought it would not help him in life. It would make him like a nerd or a loser. But his dad did, give him money for candy, which he bought with books. He bought those books at a bookstore where the guy that worked at the bookstore helped him out and gave him books. And then the best one that he ever gave him was Great Expectations by Dickens. And from that point on, he learned that he wanted to do what Dickens did and be a writer. So now that we know that, that's just a quick rundown. You're going to obviously have to read it a little faster than I did when you're on the test because it's timed. But really, we did the whole thing in like 5 minutes, and we have a really good understanding of what that is. So now that we've read the paragraph and understand what it's about, now let's go to the questions. So you know that I didn't even look at the questions until right now because I had read it and had a greater understanding of it first. So the first question is, over the course of the passage, the main shifts focus from A, general discussion of the narrator's love of reading to a portrayal of an influential incident, depiction of the narrator's father to an examination of an author with whom the narrator becomes enchanted, a symbolic representation of a skill the narrator possesses to an example of its application, tell about the hardships of the narrator's childhood to the analysis of the effects of those hardships. So, to me, two of these make sense that they could be the answer. So what I do when I take these tests is I write A, B, C, and D like this, and I cross out the ones that I know were incorrect first. So even though it's a tale about the hardships of the narrator's childhood, there's nothing about an analysis of the effects of those hardships, right? It doesn't talk about that in the paragraph, so you don't want to assume anything. So I would say that D is not one of the answers, okay? Symbolic representation of a skill the narrator possesses to an example of its application. There's no symbolism in this, okay? And he's not really talking about any skills other than the fact that he likes to read. There's nothing that says he has a skill in it. So I would mark that question as not one of the answers. So it kind of comes down between A and B are the two that I think are probably right. So the first one is a general discussion of the narrator's love of the reading to portrayal of an influential incident. Now that kind of makes sense, right? Because that influential incident was when he got that book. So that could be one of them. So let's keep A, and then let's compare it to B. Depiction of the narrator's father to an examination of an author with whom the narrator becomes enchanted. So it does talk about his father a little bit, but more it talks about himself, right? His father is brought up to be able to explain who he is and why he is. So I would just, I would think that A makes the most sense because it talks about the narrator's love of reading, and then it goes to that portrayal of an influential incident, which is when he got Dickens. So I would say that the answer is A. Boom, right there. Whoops, A.